Hello students, today we are going to discuss about class 8 science chapter number 1 crop production and management part 3. In this part we are going to discuss about the agricultural practices. In the first part I have informed you about some of the things, but we are going to go in detail about these agricultural practices. What are the agricultural practices? The preparation of soil, the selection and sowing of seeds, improving soil fertility, irrigation, protection from pests and diseases, harvesting, threshing and winnowing, and the storage of crop products. First of all, let us start about the agricultural products. Farming methods have improved gradually over thousands of years. A number of practices are now followed. You may have seen in the olden days and nowadays there are so many differences about these productions of crops. In the olden days how the farmers were doing this agriculture, but nowadays after getting the modern technology, so as we get modern technology, so we use different types of tools, different equipments, so which ensures the correct amount of oxygen, sunlight, water, nutrients to the plants which are available for the crops. Now these are the following methods for agricultural practices. First, I will start with the preparation of soil. Can you tell me why we should prepare soil before giving any types of seed? We should prepare for our soil. So now, the properties of soil differ from place to place. Some kind of soil hold water while other do not. Definitely, you know very well that all the soils are not same. Similarly, all the human beings are also not same. Some are having more sustaining power, some are having less sustaining power. Similarly, all the soils are not same. You may have heard about some crops grow in sandy soil, some grow in the loamy soil, clay soil. But in this loamy soil also everywhere that soil is not same. I know very well for growing good crops we require a loamy soil in which sand and clay both are mixed. But then also the properties of the soil can be acidic also, can be basic also. We have to make it neutral for growing a proper growth of this. As after selecting the soil, in which soil that we should grow these crops, we require a plowing. Plowing means tilling. Tilling means plow. You may have seen in the olden days, 2 ox have been taken and 1 plow, and farmers are going for plowing their field. So at the top layer of the soil, which help them to do or loosen the soil with the help of tractors. So in the olden days we were doing these things with the plow, that's called plowing, but nowadays we are doing with these tractors. So now this turned soil, maybe after turning the soil, means which we have done with the tractor or with the plowing, now they can continue to the large lumps. Large lumps means big part of soil, because we have just turned the soil. Now we require these lumps to break down using the harrow, and the field is level using a leveler. You know, in the olden days I have seen there was one, it's called I think harrow. Harrow means a part of wood by which, as that plowing were done, similarly that harrow was tied with a rope and it was connected till another wooden stick near that ox, and here the farmer was standing and the whole land was being leveled. That was called harrow. But nowadays leveling are coming, means it's called leveler. Leveler means which can level everywhere soil equally. So nowadays after plowing, means nowadays tractor are being used for plowing and this leveler are being used for leveler. In olden days plowing methods were being used by that farmer and that ox and that farmer, and that I have told you about the harrow by which the leveler was being. Now the second thing is, what are the advantages of plowing? What happens means, what are the tools used for plowing? And plowing makes the soil loosen and porous. The roots of seedling can penetrate loosen soil very easily. You know very well, definitely soil will be loosened, soil will be leveled. So what will happen, as we give seeds inside that soil, it can be easily penetrated. Penetrate means it can go accommodate, or it can be gone inside. It can, the roots can grow deeper and it can spread out. The plants is anchored well the soil. You must know, we say also that definitely as our parents are there, we are also the same too. Okay, as the formation goes in our family, we also get the same habits. Similarly, as the soil is there, soil is good or not, soil is leveled or not, soil is plowed properly or not, so similarly plants are also going to grow. As the soil is leveled, soil is plowed, so definitely we are going to get a good crops. Now in this loosened soil, water can go easily or not. This helps the roots to breathe in or breathe out during, as the soils are loosened, so definitely they can do their respiration process. Now after plowing, the soil are arable or not. Arable means that oxygen they can go, and some of the microorganisms also helps the roots of these plants, and the soil is fertile or not. Fertilizers and manure can mix well with this loosened soil, because after doing the loosened soil we are putting some fertilizers, so these fertilizers can be proper or not in the soil. Plowing uproots weeds which can decompose and which can give fertile to our soil. Means you will see some of the roots are there in the field, so these roots are being coming uprooted and then they mix into the soil, they become humus, they use fertilizers. Next is agricultural implements. What are the agricultural implements? Earlier plow, I have told you, these are being used thousands of years ago only, and some of the villages are being still used, but maximum nowadays that plowshare and plow are not being used. Nowadays only the tractors are being used for plowing. After then for cutting, cultivator machines are came, modern tools, that is cultivator, which is attached to the tractor for cut the large area or plowing the large area. Harrow, it is a tool to break down the lumps of soil, and leveler, it is also a tool which is leveling the ground and plowing it. Now this was the first point in the preparation of selection and sowing of seed. How you will understand this seed is good for my land or good for my soil? How you will understand? The sowing process, that's called sowing of seeds. This is what happens. As for example, just suppose I want to give moong, you have heard moong, that moong seed I want to plant, and that if I will give this moong seed into a bucket which is full of water I have put inside it, you will see that some of the seeds are coming upside and maximum are settling down. The settling down one is good, and which are coming up, which are coming on the level of water, remember that seeds are not good for a growing crop. So we must select the seeds for sowing it, and before giving into the soil, we must do the sowing of seeds, so we can understand this seed is good variety, good quality, it will give us a large number of production. After then, seeds are sown in the different ways, like broadcasting is a method by which seeds can be scattered over a field with by hand. It is not generally suitable because it results in you will see broadcasting is what the farmers, when they give some of the seeds like wheat, so they just throw, but it is not equally distributed in that land. So nowadays seed drill is coming. Seed drill is a tool, it is an equipment which is set beside the tractor, as in the proper gap the two seeds are being, so they can get proper nutrition, proper growth, proper chlorophyll, proper area for growing. So seed drill machine is coming for the growth of this production. Now after getting the information about the planters, transplantations and seed beds, so the seed can grow properly. Improving the soil fertility, you must have heard about the crop rotation method in the previous classes. Crop rotation method, can you tell me anyone what is crop rotation method? Growing different crops in field over successive years to avoid depleting the nutrients soil is called crop rotation. Crop rotation means we have to just once we have grown the rice, then we have to grow wheat, then we have to grow some of the beans, pulse, like as we grow different crops, so this soil get their nutritions back. And if you are growing only one type of crop, so this crop take all the nutritions and they are not getting back the nutrition. That's why the crop rotation is very necessary for improving the soil fertility. And you will see the farmers are putting fertilizers like potash, urea also to improve the fertility of the soil. Now multiple cropping is also one method of improving the soil fertility. What is the multiple cropping? Multiple cropping means one crop is already there, and in the same field we have given some another seed to grow. Multiple cropping examples, cereals like wheat can grow in legumes like pea also, means pea and wheat both can grow into the same field at the same time. That is called multiple cropping. Now adding nutrients like fertilizers, I have already told you, chemical fertilizers like potash, urea, nitrogen, phosphorus, these are the few things which we can add during improving the soil fertility. And in the olden days where they were not having this chemical, so they were adding the manure, the dungs of animal they are putting into the soil so the fertility can be increased, and green manures also they were adding to increase the soil fertility. Now there is a next method called irrigation. Irrigation means plants need different amounts of water. All of us know different plants need different amount of water. So earlier we were putting just a motor and we were giving and we were sprinkling the waters. Nowadays a new technology called drip irrigation method. You may have seen in the playgrounds also, the drip irrigation methods give proper amount of water to the roots of that plant, so they get the water should not be wasted. You know very well, if you are wasting the water, then definitely it should, and we are putting water on the plant's leaf. Plant's leaf do not absorb water. Plant's root take that water, and through the root hair passes to the roots, and then that water is going to the whole plant. Similarly, drip irrigation methods, you will see in some of the fields that the row is being made, and in the row the drip irrigation methods put the water into the root of that plants. So this drip irrigation methods are being used, and furrow irrigation is also coming. Furrow irrigation and basin irrigations are also coming. You may have seen in the potato field that basin irrigation, both the sides you will see, just like they are making small mountains and basin waters they are putting. Now, you may have heard traditional methods of irrigation. Chain pulley, they were pulling the chains from the well, and then the pulley, chain pulley, chain pump, pulley, rahat and dekli. These were the olden traditional method of irrigation. Now as the plants grow, whole your field is fully greenish. So definitely weeds also grow with them. What is weed? You should know. A weed is undesirable plants which grow in the same field of the crops. And some of the bacteria, some of the fungus, organism which destroy or which harm the crops, that are called pest. They may be plants or animals, both they can be. Microorganism like bacteria, fungi, virus, this infect the plants and spread diseases through the air, soil and contaminated seeds. And a weed, which is an undesirable plant which grow with the crop. So to remove these all the things, the process of removing the weed is called weeding, and to kill that organisms or that harmful bacteria virus, we use pesticides, weedicides, herbicides and fungicides to protect our plants. As the plants grow, they give the crops grow and they give the productions. After getting, when our the process of crops, products are gathered, they are mature crops, now they are ready for harvesting. So nowadays harvesting are also being done by many of that harvester machines, and after harvesting we do threshing. You may have seen nowadays for wheat, after harvesting the wheat crops we are doing threshing. Threshing removes the, what is threshing? Threshing is a machine, it's a thresher by which the crops are being removed and crops are being removed, husk and seeds both are separated. And in the olden days the people were doing winnowing method. Now also you will see, especially for the pulse, they put some of the pulse and husk both same together at the large space, means higher space, they throw that, so seeds go directly down and husk go outside. So these are called winnowing method. And after winnowing, threshing, winnowing, harvesting, now after, as we have got our crops, our wheat, our rice, now we require a storage. What is storage? Storage, you know very well, we have some godowns, granaries, grainware which is fumigated, or cold storage where we store this for a long time. If I am having 1,000 quintals of wheat, so I will store in a cold storage. For that I will put some of the fumigated things by which my grains, my crops should not be wasted. I put these all the things into the cold storage so it can stay for a long time. Now after this, improving as we have seen the cold storage of the storage of this crop production. This was our third part of chapter 1. Thank you. Don't forget to like and subscribe.